The Bengals avoid disaster. Yes, it was a scary day as Joe Burrow goes down during practice. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com here at Paycor Stadium, where practice wrapped up a few hours ago, and I'm going to give you the latest on Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. So hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. And obviously, you've already heard from Jamar Chase on this channel, Mike Hilton on this channel, Tyler Boyd, Ted Karras, Zach Taylor as well on Joe Burrow's injury. And let me give you the latest on Burrow, because the 26-year-old was rolling out towards the end of practice and pulled up lame on his right leg and started hopping on his left leg, didn't put any weight on his right leg, and it was just a scary scene and how sudden it happened. It was a non-contact injury. No one was near him. No one touched him. It was kind of a routine play that we've seen him do 1,000 times rolling to his right, and suddenly he was on the turf. He was on the grass, and it was like, okay, what is up with Joe Burrow? And he was carted off about a minute later. They weren't really stretching his calf out at all. Joe Mixon came over to check on him. Here's what I know. Joe Burrow is going to miss some time. I told he suffered a calf injury, which Zach Taylor confirmed, but they avoided disaster. We're not talking about an Achilles. We're not talking about a season-ending type injury. But what it does look like, it's a calf injury. It's a soft tissue injury, and those can linger. So I don't expect to see him this preseason. I know there was some talk about that, about maybe him playing in preseason games for the first time. I know there was some talk about him, potentially suiting up in multiple preseason games and having a normal training camp. How many of us, I'm guilty of it, saying, man, it would be so nice if he could have a normal training camp. Well, guess what? I'm not saying ever again. I'm never going to say that again, because clearly he can't catch a break here. And it really stinks, because if you watch our practice recap video from Wednesday, I talked about how good Joe Burrow looked, how crisp. And he looked that way again today. It is worth noting that he came out with a sleeve on his right calf. And it was, as he was warming up, I noticed it. And he wasn't wearing that yesterday. And I was like, oh, well, it's hot out. Maybe it's that. Maybe he was cramping earlier. And I know some thought, he's just cramping. This is not a cramp. I'm told it is a legitimate calf injury and that he's going to miss some time. And now we're not going to see him in the preseason. We haven't heard that from the Bengals, but I'll tell you, we're not going to see him in the preseason. If it is a calf strain, which is, there's some speculation on social media, I cannot confirm that it is, but if that's the case, then he'll miss 4 to 8 weeks is kind of the general term. And it depends how much of a tear there is in that calf muscle, how long it will take to heal, all of those things. So the Bengals have avoided disaster here, but they're not out of the woods yet, because this can linger. And that's kind of the scary part when it comes to this injury. So we'll keep you updated on it. But, man, I just go back to Joe Burrow just cannot catch a break when it comes to the offseason, when it comes to the offseason program. And I'm not really sure what he has to do. But at least this isn't something that's going to threaten his season. I think that's the main thing here is you just say, thank you, injury gods, for not doing that. Because Joe Burrow's used to responding to adversity. That's the part of this where I'm almost moving on to, because it stinks not getting those practice reps, not seeing any live bullets in the preseason, none of that. And I think he was looking forward to that. He sat up here yesterday and said that he wanted to play in the preseason, that it would be good for him. Well, he's not going to get that now, because there's no way the Bengals risk it over the next 4 weeks, even if he does feel good in the first regular season game about 6 weeks away in Cleveland. And ideally, you would have Joe Burrow on the field, of course, for that game. So what can we see from him? Well, I think he's going to attack it just like he attacked everything else. He was eating everything in sight when he had that appendectomy and lost weight, and his appendix burst. And it was a real serious thing that set him back last year. In fact, a year ago yesterday, it set him back. The ACL, obviously he attacked that rehab and was able to get back and was on the field for the offseason program and didn't miss a game and all of those things. Here, I expect the same thing. And so we'll see how he heals. I know historically his dad, Jimmy Burrow, has talked about how fast of a healer Joe is. Burrow's obviously dealt with all these different injuries. Remember, he had the pinky injury during the Super Bowl run. He had the MCL injury that he suffered in the, I think it was the AFC North clinching win against the Chiefs, and then he re-aggravated it in Super Bowl 56. This guy has dealt with injuries, has played through them. I've done some radio interviews today, and they've asked about the contract situation. I don't really think this impacts that at all. But I also think that the Bengals are going to be so focused. This side of things, this is the football side right here. The locker room's like that way. The football side of things, they're not worried about the business side upstairs. Completely separate things. They're going to try to get him healthy and ready to go. And so that's where I'm at from a Joe Burrow standpoint. Just some other notes from practice real quick to give you. First thing, DJ Turner again today, impressive, multiple pass breakups. Really like what I'm seeing from the Bengals rookie corner. Bengals offensive line, Jonah Williams was rolling with the backup group, and we were told that they would alternate. Jackson Carman was in protecting Burrow. Didn't notice anything bad on that end. Obviously, they're not in pads, so we'll see on both from both guys if that can continue. They're just rotating essentially with different groups. And the highlight of the day, and I asked Jamar Chase this. Make sure you check out our Jamar Chase interview. It was about 6 minutes long in the locker room. We've already posted it here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. It's Jamar Chase, or Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase for a 60-yard touchdown. Jamar beat Cam Taylor-Britt, and I asked him about it, and he's like, that's what I do. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing my job. And that's how nonchalant Jamar was when I asked him about it. So the other thing, and we posted the teammates' reaction video, a lot of teammates didn't seem too concerned that it was super serious. Obviously, Burrow is injured. He's dealing with something. But I don't think they were thinking that it was a season-ending type deal. So hopefully that's the case. But overall, it sounds like the Bengals avoided disaster with Joe Burrow. And when breaking news happens with Burrow, we will have you covered right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So ring the bell, hit that subscribe button. And yes, I'm rocking the backwards Cincinnati Bengals Talk hat right here at Paycor Stadium. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien signing off for now. Thank you so much for watching CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.